Now, when we talk about different methods of data collection, right? Data collection may be for the purpose of research, for the purpose of assignment, or whatever may be the reason. There are different ways of collecting data, and one of the most commonly used one is interview method. Okay, interview method in research, that is, you are collecting the data by way of interviewing people, and that's how you have collected your information. That's how you are conducting a research. So what is interview? Interview is nothing but a conversation that you are having with someone, but with a purpose. It's not just a random conversation, but you are having a conversation for the purpose of gathering information. Okay, a research interview would involve the interviewer who would coordinate the process of conversation and ask questions, because if you are a researcher, you know what information is required for you, right? So you would be the one who would coordinate the entire process. You will ask the questions, and the interviewee who responds to those questions, you know who is the best person to answer those questions. So you will approach that person only, and you will ask all the questions, and that person would respond to your questions. Interview method in research. So an interview is generally qualitative research technique which involves asking open-ended questions to converse with the respondent and collect illicit data about the subject. Our main purpose is we need to collect as much of data as we can from the person which is related to our subject matter. So mostly we have open-ended questions. So what is open-ended? What is close-ended? We would see that also. So open-ended basically means that it's not like a yes or no answer. Okay, like if I ask you that, okay, fine, like what is your experience studying LLB? In that case, what is it? It is open-ended question. You might say something. You might say that, okay, learning law subjects were this, that. Another person might say that, okay, learning cases were this, that. So like I'm leaving it open that whatever information you want to provide me, I would accept that. I'm not simply saying that, okay, was your experience good or bad? It's not close-ended, it's open-ended. You can provide your point of view, whatever you feel like. So mostly it is open-ended, where we want to collect as much information as we can related to the subject matter. The interviewer in most cases is the subject matter expert who intends to understand respondents' opinions in a well-planned and executed series of questions and answers. If you are doing a research, you know everything, that you have designed your entire research, and you know these are the information that I want to collect from people. In such a case, you are the expert in that subject. You know what information you require. So you would try to plan this entire thing in that same direction only. Mostly we see people would prepare some questionnaires, as in list of questions would already be there, and they will try to ask those questions so that they can reach that particular point, right? When we see TV interviews and all, mostly like interviewing celebrity and all, there also questions would be framed in a certain way so that they can make this conversation interesting for someone who is watching, right? Questions would be framed in that direction only. Same happens in case of research also. You need to plan it in that same direction, how you have thought about your like the research design, how you have designed it. Now there are different types of interviews that we see, and you need to apply the method of interview which is best suitable for you, right? In your case, which suits you best, that interview method you would be applying. So what are some of these different types? First is structured interview. So what is structured interview? Anyone?
Ma'am, in which you have planned the questions.
You have planned the questions. Yes. So in what way it helps?
Ma'am, it's basically, if you have already planned, you know that you are searching about the particular topic. You'll get information regarding a particular subject of matter.
Yes. In case of a structured interview, you know that you would not be like diverted or something. It's not that in conversation you start talking about something and at the end of the day you don't get any information, right? So that's where structured interview helps. In that, interviewer asks a set of standard predetermined questions about particular topic in a specific order. The respondents need to select their answer from a list of options. You might even give options, like mostly we see like when you are visiting a shopping mall, just outside there would be people saying, can you give me 5 minutes? Have you seen like that? Some surveys would be there.
Yes, ma'am.
You have seen, right? Sometimes they would even visit your house and say that, okay, I need some information, can you give that? So that's nothing but structured interview, right? Like I remember one where they came and like for this right, agarbatti, right? For that, they were taking some interviews, that which all brands have you heard of? Which one would you prefer to buy? Why do you buy a certain thing? Because I like the scent, because I like this. Like that, there would be options. As such, I don't need to write anything. It's all structured. Out of this given answers, I can select one which is relevant. Okay, so structured interview is everything is planned and you want to gather some information. Mostly on YouTube also we see that before a video plays, there would be some survey. YouTube would ask you, would you like to answer these questions? Which shampoo brands have you seen on an online advertising platform? And you need to select which one you have seen. If none of these, you can select none of that also. Right? That is nothing but a structured interview. Everything is structured. Semi-structured interview. In semi-structured interview, the interviewer uses a set of predetermined questions and the respondent answers in their own words. As in, questions are structured, but you have not structured the answer. Answer is open for the person. Semi-structured interviews are useful where there is a need to collect in-depth information in a systematic manner from a number of respondents or interviewers, for example, teachers, community leader, etc. In this one, you have given some options that which of these agarbatti brands you have heard of, which of these you have used. You just have few options. But this one, you might give options, you might leave it open, right? And there the person might say that I don't even use an agarbatti, I have never purchased agarbatti from any brand. That means in that information they got that you don't even like agarbatti or you don't even like the smell. That is in that information they got because they simply structured the questions. Answers were open for the person. You can answer the way you like. Okay. So which method are you applying? That would depend on what kind of research you are doing. And in this one, it's more easy to get the information. Like just assume you are going to visit a mall for maybe some movie or something, and then a person asks you to stop and then asks you, okay, answer these. You might not feel like writing it, answering it and all, but if it's just tick mark, you might just tick something and give it, right? So here, getting answers, there is a more possibility, and they don't want in detail information, just roughly they want to know about it. Next one is unstructured interview. Unstructured interviews you would get where mostly there are many interviews which you would even find online which are unstructured interview. What is that? It is interviewer has no specific guidelines, restrictions or predetermined questions or list of options. Okay, he is not as such giving any options or anything. The interviewer asks a few broad questions to engage the respondent in an open, informal, and spontaneous discussion. Unstructured interviews are particularly useful for getting stories behind respondents' experience or when there is little information about a topic. Mostly you would see like victims of a certain case. Okay, they would give an interview in sort of unstructured interview, which is like unstructured interview. Okay, where they would have some broad idea that, okay, I want to know how this person became a victim first of all, what was his experience, how that person escaped from that situation, and how this person is now dealing with the present situation, like how this person adjusted himself to the situation as of now. Maybe these are the 4 things that you want to know, but as such you don't have much idea on how this person ended up being a victim or things like that. So you can simply ask, okay, share your experience, and the person would just start telling like a story, like a conversation you would have, spontaneous one. In between, whatever you feel like asking, that also you can ask. So Nothing is structured as such here. You just know what information you know. So you would not go there and ask, okay, what color do you like? You would stick to that certain topic only, but you have not planned your questions as such. Okay. So these are 3 different types of interviews, and depending on the situation, depending on the kind of information that you want to take, you would see which one is applicable for you. All right. I think there is one YouTube channel also. I forgot the name, but what they are doing is they are interviewing people in whose name or using whose face memes are prepared. Okay, like there are many people, right, whose face you would see in a lot of different memes. So they are interviewing those people that how they ended up being such a person, right? So those are nothing but unstructured interview, where the interviewer would try to know the story behind and how they are adjusting to that certain situation. Okay, that's nothing but unstructured interview. Like there is one, I think something is there. This one, right? I saw one interview of hers that she is like a big girl now. When she was a kid, her parents took her, like there was some fire taking place. I think this house, they wanted to reconstruct it or something. So they just burned this entire thing, and her parents took her to see this thing and clicked a picture. So this picture became so viral that everywhere memes are there, and she was known as the damaged girl. So they interviewed her, and that was like an unstructured interview. They did not prepare any questions or anything. They just wanted to know the story, how is she dealing with it and everything. Okay, that is what it is. Semi-structured interview, it's mostly like the kind of interviews that we see in TV and stuff that you can consider, and this one mostly like the surveys that we fill by ticking the given options. Now, methods of research interview. Fine, we know about different types of interviews, but how is it that we are going to take the interviews? How we are going to take the information or collect the information? So there are 3 main methods to conduct research interviews. How these are being done? For that, we have 3 very common methods. One is personal interview or face-to-face interview. So there you go and meet a certain person. If you are doing a research on maybe crimes against women, you may go and meet a victim, and face to face you may have a conversation. You may even go to a NGO who is working in that particular field. You may meet some victims, again have a conversation. This is nothing but personal interview or a face-to-face interview. It may be a telephonic interview, right? Many times you would see different brands and all, they would call you, right? That, okay, you were ordering from this certain app. Now you are not ordering. What is it? Are you facing any problem or not? Right? What is the problem? Why are you not ordering from our app anymore? This is nothing but telephonic interview, right? Mostly when you talk to any customer care executive, they would say that, okay, after this call is over, you might receive a call saying to give feedback. That also might be a telephonic interview, right? On over phone, things are being done. Okay, and last one is online interview, which is also very common. It might be by way of Skype, Google Hangout, email, web page, maybe Google form also you might receive where you need to give your feedback, right? So online interviews are also very common. Sometimes you would see on Facebook, there are different groups where all these researchers would gather and they would send their questionnaires that I would answer your questionnaire, you answer my question paper. Like that, there are groups all together. So that also helps to collect information, right? All these would be nothing but online interviews that we see. So by all these ways, information would be collected, and based on that information, research might be done. They would use that for their marketing purpose and so many other different things. Okay, so telephonic interview, I'm sure you must have experienced it. What about online interviews?
That you said YouTube survey, does that count in online interview?
Which one?
YouTube survey.
Survey, yes. Survey you have seen. Personal interview, it might be as simple as you went for a vacation and your friends came to know about it, and they might ask you that, okay, fine, where did you go? I really liked your pictures. How did you go? That's also nothing but kind of a personal interview. But yeah, idea is not to do any research, but maybe your friend also wants to visit that same place. So it's something which we all have the experience, but it might not be specifically for research that we were giving the information, but we have experience for all these different things as well, right? Mostly it happens when you have a viva and you just came out from the viva, and your friends would be like, okay, what questions they were asking, how was the questions, is it very easy, very difficult, what was it, right? All these things are there. So when we talk about research, this collected information is used for the purpose of doing a research. That's the main difference. Okay, so interview as such, it's a very important way of collecting information, and it's considered that you are getting like genuine and authentic information. It's not simply that you are reading some books or you are referring to some newspaper articles and then you are making some conclusion. You are actually meeting the real people who have an experience in that field. After that, you are making some conclusion, right? So when interview is done in a research, that is considered to be like more authentic, what output you have provided, what conclusions you have made in that research. Hey, before we continue, I wanted to inform you about my live mentorship program for LLB students or law aspirants. Law subjects and law topics need detailed clarity. We get that with the help of cases, examples, and detailed explanation. It's definitely not possible to include everything in these short videos. If you find my videos easy to understand and you are looking for some professional help in preparing for your examination, you can join my live mentorship program. Here you will be getting exam tips, answer writing skills, detailed notes that you can refer for your examination, cases, examples, and in a very easy way, topics will be explained. I have live classes going on for a lot of subjects as of now. To know more about it, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. I'm also helping a lot of students in writing their assignments. If you need any such help or for any queries, any suggestions, you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. And now let's continue with our video.